Hello everybody, it's Dr. Mona at Mona Dermatology, and today I wanted to go over why it's so important to be sun safe and to give you tips on how to do so. We live in a beautiful world, and one of the blessings that we have is to be able to enjoy our time in that world. So how can you protect your skin from not just the sun's damage, but also environmental damage that we have with pollution and with infrared light and with blue light that we get off our phones and our tablets or computers? So how can you protect your skin from that UV damage? I always tell people to use a good broad spectrum sunscreen that can cover both UVA and UVB rays. Remember, your UVA rays cause your aging because they go deeper into the skin, and your UVB rays are going to cause the burning. So what do I look for? I look for something with zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, or avobenzone because those go into the UVA spectrum and protect my skin the furthest. The zinc oxide and titanium dioxide are mineral sunscreens and tend to cause the least amount of reactions. If you're sensitive, I definitely would use those. Avobenzone is a chemical sunscreen and can also go into the UVA, but sometimes people can have reactions to that. So it's very important to look at what's in your sunscreen. Secondly, SPF only measures your burning. It is not measuring your UVA protection. And so when you get something with an SPF, it means that it's protecting you for a certain amount of time before you get burned. It doesn't mean that you can be out in the sun forever. I always recommend people apply it at least every 2 hours to make sure that you're getting that protection. And then really you need something above a 40 or a 50. You don't necessarily need 100 SPF because over time the effects of that sunscreen are going to wear off. And make sure that you apply enough that you're getting good coverage with your sunscreen. But ultraviolet light is not the only thing that we worry about in terms of environmental damage. You can actually develop free radicals in your skin from pollution, from blue light, which we have from our phones, tablets, or computers, as well as from infrared. So I like to also look at other things I can incorporate into my skincare that help to protect my skin. With any type of damage, it causes free radicals, and the free radicals can actually help to promote aging as well as damage to the deeper layers of your skin. Antioxidants are fantastic ways at quenching those free radicals. Some common antioxidants out there are vitamin C's, vitamin E, as well as other antioxidants that work in different ways to help protect your skin. There's several good products out there. You can consult your dermatologist and find one that would work best for your skin, but I always say that those are really good ways of actually helping to prevent your external aging or aging that you get from the environment. Speaking of aging, how does the sun affect our aging? Well, here's a great picture of a truck driver who obviously did not use any type of protection. And as you can see, his left side is much more aged than his right side. And that's because the windows actually only filter out UVB, but don't filter out those UVA rays. So you can see that he has more crepey skin, he has more looseness or laxity to his skin, and his skin just looks a lot more aged. So making sure that you're very careful with your protection actually is a very good way of helping to protect the aging face. So as we get older, with more sun exposure, you can get the brown spots that come up, your skin will get a little bit looser because it's breaking down that collagen more, and you will have more fine lines and wrinkles. So protecting your skin isn't just important now, but it's important to help prevent aging. Now, speaking of aging, what causes our aging? Well, I just mentioned that there's environmental factors that cause our aging, but of course there's our internal aging, just like how we normally age. The sun is one of the most common ways for us to see aging with what we call photo damage, which are those brown spots and the redness, the fine lines and wrinkles that people get, and some of that can be prevented with good protection from that UV radiation. As we get older, you start seeing those brown spots, but also our face changes. We actually lose bone, muscle, our fat pads shift, everything starts kind of falling down, and then we also start getting a little bit looser skin, a little bit heavier, and some jowling on the bottom. So starting with your skincare can be one of the most important things to help protect your skin from that photo damage. And finally, we want to make sure that we're very careful with our exposure because we also don't want to develop skin cancers. Skin cancers can be directly linked to our sun exposure. There's three main types of skin cancers. There's basal cell carcinoma, which is the most common skin cancer. It's also the least aggressive, and we diagnose over 1 million of those a year. We do want to make sure we treat those because if you don't treat them, they will continue to grow. Secondly, there's squamous cell carcinoma. That's the second most common, and they also don't tend to spread, but they have a little bit higher chance of spreading throughout your body. So again, we want to make sure that we catch those early. Finally, there's melanoma, and over time we have started diagnosing more melanomas. Melanomas come from your pigment-producing cells that give color to your skin or moles. So when you see a mole that looks like it's changing, we definitely want you to come in and have us look at it. We look for what's called the ABCDEs. Asymmetry, moles should be symmetric, not asymmetric. They should be round or oval with not irregular V borders. Their color should be uniform, not darker or different colors. They should not be bigger than a pencil eraser, so their diameter should be smaller than a pencil eraser, and they should not be evolving or changing. So any new lesion that you get, make sure you make an appointment and come in for a good skin exam. So here are some final tips on how to be sun safe. Number 1, make sure you're using a good broad spectrum sunscreen that covers both UVA and UVB. Zinc oxide is my personal favorite ingredient because it goes furthest into the UVA spectrum. It's a mineral sunscreen, so very few people react to it, and it does a really good job. If you want to use a spray sunscreen, make sure you're spraying enough on so that you're actually getting good coverage. And don't forget to reapply your sunscreen every 2 hours so you maintain its efficacy. Number 2, consider using an antioxidant to help quench those free radicals from all that environmental damage. Number 3, I always recommend making sure that you're avoiding being in the sun between 10 and 2, which is the strongest sun's time, because that's where you have the most damage. Number 4, I always recommend wearing a broad brimmed hat, not a visor or baseball cap, because those aren't going to protect the sides of my face, my ears, or the back of my neck, so a nice broad brimmed hat. And finally, if you see anything that seems unusual, please reach out to your dermatologist, have us look at it, and make sure that you get your yearly skin exams. I hope this was helpful for everybody, and I appreciate your time.